Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Robo Talk with XLR8. I'm your host, Andrew. I'm here with Jacob.
Hello.
And special guest, Mr. Dome.
Hello, everyone.
Today, we are going to be talking about a variety of different tech news, and we're going to start it off with Jacob talking about SpaceX and Starlink Internet. Take it away, Jacob.
Okay, so Starlink is basically its own company, but it's operated by SpaceX, so it's basically just a subsection of SpaceX, if that makes any sense. So Elon Musk is still part of it completely. But they are planning to operate and set up a whole network of satellites in low Earth orbit to provide internet to everywhere in the world. And their hope for one of their applications is airliner internet, because you typically have to pay for it, or if you don't, it's really slow. So with this new system, they're going to be installing special antennas into some 747 and other passenger aircrafts so that they can use the network of satellites without having to communicate with the ground station. Because the way that Starlink works currently is they communicate with a ground station, and then that station can route out other network management.
So essentially, the plane becomes a mobile ground station.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be routing anything. They would just have their own connection for internet.
So what you're saying is free Wi-Fi on air, on
Free
airplane,
Wi-Fi,
free
anywhere you
gaming.
go.
Don't even have to worry about cell anymore.
Yeah.
You don't got to turn on airplane mode.
I don't even know if you still have to turn on airplane mode anyway. Like with older devices, I think it would mess with it, but I'm pretty sure airplanes are advanced enough that airplane mode doesn't need to be on, but people still.
Well, this is the name of the game now, right, guys? It's need to be connected anywhere, anytime.
Oh,
with
yeah, most
all
definitely.
your devices. So to
Everything.
be in a plane and be connected, sure. I mean, that's obviously people are going to want that. And
Everything all the time, super fast connection, FaceTime on the plane ride. I don't know. When you get off from a plane, where do you go? A car, of course, or any type of transportable vehicle. Rivian will build a second $5 billion EV plant in Georgia. Amazon-backed EV startup Rivian is going to build a second factory in Georgia where it will assemble up to 400,000 electric vehicles per year. Rivian will start construction of the $5 billion facility in summer of 2022 and expects to start making vehicles there in 2024. They're already building their first electric pickup trucks in a former Mitsubishi factory in Normal, Illinois. The company also said that it has shipped its first 2 SUVs. It is also committed to producing 100,000 custom delivery vans for Amazon. It has been searching for a place to create a factory from the ground up for future vehicles. The new factory in Georgia will be built about a half hour east of Atlanta and will employ 7,500 workers. Rivian says it plans to build a co-located battery cell production facility in the area as well. It is not immediately clear how much Rivian is getting in state and local incentives, but the figures say it's staggering.
this is great on so many different levels. I mean, you can see that. I guess you could credit Tesla for opening the door for private companies to get into the automotive business, especially the EV business. I mean, so it's no longer just Ford, Chevrolet, Toyota, what used to be called Chrysler, but now it's Atlantis. So yeah, there's many startup companies that are deciding, hey, we can build a good electric vehicle. So this truck company is just one example of that, and it's great to see that they're taking over, former facilities that may be left empty and repurposing them. Then, more importantly, providing great paying jobs for those local economies and keeping those things here. Investing in us, investing in American, jobs and economy, contributing to the EV movement.
I feel that that's definitely going to be the next step in automotive, is just all out EV. I mean, and then it's going to evolve into, well, how do we make these EVs, or how do we get this energy from everywhere? And it, like Mr. Dome said, it's completely revolutionary. And thanks to Tesla, we have a lot to look forward to through the next decade or so.
And we're right on the verge of this thing just blowing wide open. They talk about people having range anxiety of you're not being able just to pull up to a gas pump and put more gas in your car and keep driving. But realistically, people drive, I believe the number I heard was like 30 miles a day on average, and that's completely within today's EV ranges. I mean, they're pumping out 300-400 mile ranges with the cars that they're producing, so it's not an issue. And I think the manufacturers have sensed that. I mean, every commercial you hear now, they talk about everybody has a whole list of EVs in their pipeline that they either have started releasing or they're gonna release within the next 3 to 5 years. So electrification is here. It's going to be huge. It's going to be transformative. I mean, it's going to be like the smartphone kind of, leap in terms of changing the way we live and changing the way we drive. And obviously, it's going to cause some other infrastructure issues, but creativity leads to innovation, leads to disruption, and leads to change. So I think we're going to witness that. Tesla's been a huge success. And like I said, these other startup companies are also successful, but the current automakers are all getting on the bandwagon as well. So things will change. The infrastructure will have to change. Like Andrew mentioned, I mean, the next question will be, well, where are we going to get all this electricity from? Because that's going to be something to factor into this. You have to think about it holistically. If we have all these people now needing to plug in their cars, great, but where are you going to get the electricity from? Ideally, you'd want to get it from renewable sources.
The goal there.
Right. Then the couple your charging stations with renewable sources, which I'm sure you've seen the photographs of. You drive the car into the carport, and the roof of the carport solar panels, and then there's your charging station where you plug in your car. And it's just one example.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going in the right direction of evolving into, just like you said, that's the next gen phone, the leaps and bounds that we have to make. The only thing that I would see getting in our way is the batteries.
We get the solid state battery taken off. I think they're pretty close to that, or at least I hope they are.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I think they have some small ones, but they still need some manufacturing efficiency type, not catching on fire issues.
Well,
not really with solid state batteries, but they're
just in general.
They're just about there, but not quite.
Well, there's always the fear of change, right? There's going to be that these are fire hazards, or how long is the battery going to last? But as soon as you get a little experience out there and people see that this is completely doable. I mean, we were in the Henry Ford Museum and there was an electric car there from the early 1900s. I mean, Thomas Edison built an electric car in the early 1900s. So the idea is not new.
Yeah.
But it just took, like Jacob said, I mean, the technology has to be there. At the time, the batteries were not reliable. They didn't last very long. But look at what we have now in terms of batteries, and then look at what's on the horizon in terms of batteries, battery technology. I mean, it's just going to continue to get better. So it'll just become a non-issue. I'm sure the original fear was the same with a big tank of gasoline you're driving around. That somebody hits your car and you explode your tank of gasoline. But people got over that fear because it doesn't really happen very often, right? You can build safety features into the product to help prevent those.
Most definitely. And on the topic of vehicle titans, to say Ford has launched another EV. This one helps fleets of vehicles go electric, and it's not only for consumers, and now it's for businesses. Ford Motor Company, a lot of people use their vans and trucks to carry out their operations. There's commercial customers are interested in their electric vehicles as well. Ford wants to make the EV transition as easy as possible for business owners that want to use their electric vehicles. They announced a electric vehicle charging system for its commercial customers. The service will offer software and hardware needed to run a whole fleet of EVs. The service will help businesses design, install, and manage EV charging and vehicle maintenance, and allow customers to charge EVs at company-managed depots, employee homes, or public charging stations.
Just another great example of having to think holistically. Obviously, there's a lot of delivery vehicles. You think of this time of year, Amazon trucks are in our neighborhood multiple times a day, every day. So hats off to Ford to think, let's get into this and help people manage, the electrification of the vehicles. And then how are we going to, I'm sure managing the routes, optimizing routes, and then making sure that we have access to charging. But what a great impact on reducing emissions. I would assume even maintenance costs by electrifying your fleet, helping to manage that and making sure that all those delivery drivers can run their routes and have access to what they need in terms of charging or whatnot. That'd be great, especially in cities, be able to run the delivery trucks around that are full EV.
It's good because Ford isn't just electric. It's not relying on the electric trucks taking off. Because Workhorse, that was their thing. They were going to do electric trucks for the Postal Service, and then they lost the contract because someone else got it. They weren't guaranteed the contract, and then they switched the company, and then their stock went down. And I'm like, you know what? They're probably going to go back up.
Oh no.
So I think I'm out by now. But
right?
I did not. I didn't. I tried to hedge my losses, but it was tough. But I think they're gonna come back. But this is more competition.
Yeah, I think Amazon had a commercial where they showed an electric vehicle plugging in, and the post office would be a big one. Maybe UPS too. UPS, FedEx.
Oh yeah.
I think all those guys will probably at some point, entertain this, switching their fleets over.
That might even be the driving force of consumer or the general public switching to EV is, oh, well, Amazon's using it, FedEx is using it, UPS is using it, now why shouldn't I?
Yeah, the more that the technology gets adopted and people see that, it's doable and everything works fine, and potential savings in terms of maintenance and fuel costs, I'm sure. Yeah, it's just a different way of thinking, different way of doing business. She's creating a lot of good jobs in terms of figuring out how to do these things. So we need people like you guys, young bright minds,
Yeah.
to take on these roles of problem solvers and engineers to
Figure all this
just
stuff out.
think differently, right? And you guys being involved in FIRST, I mean, that's part of the whole thing is the idea of innovation. Not necessarily is creating something brand new every time. It could be, using something that exists in a new way or improving something. So it just takes, a systematic approach and getting multiple people to the table, to discuss the hows and whys. And we can, right? The idea is you have people out there saying, yeah, we can do this. We can make it happen. And we're going to figure out a way to do it. And other people will follow.
Yeah, most definitely. And that was an excellent way of putting the future of EVs and the future generations for even listeners at home. Now, we're going to jump off the topic of EV. And when you think, once you land off an airplane and you drive somewhere, you got to go to a hotel. If you're somewhere that you've never been before or somewhere that you need a hotel, Apple and Hyatt got you covered. They've been rolling out hotel keys on their Apple wallets. Apple is partnering with Hyatt to give some hotel guests the ability to store their room keys in their Apple wallets. Instead of checking your pockets for your room key, you'll now be able to use your iPhone or Apple Watch to unlock your room, as well as any other area around the hotel that require a key for entry. In order to use this feature, though, your iPhone needs to be at least an iOS 15 or above, and your Apple Watch must run watchOS 8 and above. Hyatt notes that once you've completed your reservation, you can add your room key to your Apple Wallet through the World of Hyatt app. The key will display your room number and will only activate when your room is ready for check-in.
Interesting. I'm not sure how the hotel rooms go, but I don't think the ID number is reset. Like the RFID chip, the whole system, I don't think it's reset. I don't know if that provides any security issues going through Apple Wallet, which I assume is why you need iOS 15. But I feel like if you can track a signal going out of your phone, that would make it easier. But I guess that's probably something that they've thought of why you need iOS 15. So you can't just be like, oh, now you get a free hotel room.
Probably encrypted or something, but
Yeah.
I think kind of the most, I don't think it'll be really for like day-to-day guests. I think it'd be for people who are traveling a lot across the US or the world. Just that,
Business.
just business trips, that ease of access of not even having to worry about a card. It's just on your phone. Because I saw they're doing it with airline tickets too. Apple is doing it with airline tickets where you can track your flight. Your airline tickets just right on your phone. You can scan it, give it, like it's going like
Through Apple Wallet?
yeah, like a whole like airline ticket through your Apple Wallet. And it's kind of crazy to think like just a little bit ago it was a piece of paper, and now it's on your phone. You can be like, yep, I'm going to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I had a recent similar experience. I bought some tickets to a sporting event and got the email and it said, get your tickets. I clicked on the link and it said, put the tickets in your Apple Wallet. And I was like, sure. Sure enough, they showed up right there, 2 tickets. And you walk to the door of the event and flip up your Apple Wallet and you show them the QR code and scan, done.
Wow.
And it was really kind of slick. I'm sure this is just more of that, you know. Plane tickets, hotel rooms. I mean, everything will just be on your phone, right? That's the whole idea. What they want.
Yeah, everything to be
Everything on your phone. Spend more time on your phone.
Now, when you walk into that hotel room, you know what's usually there? A TV. Now, LG, their TVs now, you can play Google Stadia if it's running WebOS 5.0 or later. Do you have a gamepad handy and a recent LG TV? You can now likely try Google Stadia's cloud gaming platform. It's an app you can download for your television running the latest WebOS in any of the 22 countries that Google covers, which is most. You'll find it in the LG App Store of your TV. LG promises that both Google Stadia and Nvidia's rival GeForce Now cloud gaming service will arrive on its TVs in 2021. Both Stadia and GeForce Now are free to try with a basic account. And I feel in the computer crisis that we're in right now, in the graphics card and the chip shortage, this is an excellent way. If you only have a controller and you have, let's say, a library of games to play some video games, to have a little bit of fun just right off baked into your TV. You don't have to buy a separate console. It's all just baked in, ready to go.
I was concerned that you'd only be able to use like a Stadia controller because there's nothing to route through. But I guess if it's a smart TV, on a graph, it looks like all of the controllers, except for some of the higher ones that kind of need to go through your phone, is a little weird. You can use a Switch Pro controller for a Stadia. Yeah, for Stadia, but you have to put it through your phone or something. But that's cool that you don't have to buy a new controller assuming you have another controller console.
Yeah.
That's what I was. You can't do a keyboard and mouse yet. Or just the TV. You have to have like a computer.
Going along with video games, Banjo-Kazooie is coming out on Nintendo Switch online in January. Banjo-Kazooie is a Nintendo 64 game coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Nintendo has announced the beloved platformer will be added to the service in January. Once live, players will be able to access the game through Nintendo 64 Nintendo Switch Online app, which is available as part of the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. The expansion pack costs $50 per year, while a family plan costs $80. The latter covers up to 8 Nintendo accounts across multiple systems. And I saw in this article they're really starting to bring back the older games to newer consoles. I see that as a trend, is this retro gaming, because not everybody has a Nintendo 64 or a GameCube or anything to run all this off of. So I really think that the backwards compatibility is great.
I wonder if they're doing this because they've had a lot of problems internally, like they're making their own problem. Not really, but because they stopped supporting and selling older games. Like they don't make the GameCube anymore, and they don't make the games for the GameCube anymore. And they also shut down emulators for the GameCube, which I see it from a legal and monetary standpoint. Not really a monetary standpoint, because if you're not making money off of selling the game, then emulating it is But I guess if they're going to start bringing back all these other games, then that'll kind of ease the need for emulators for a necessity standpoint. I'm sure there's still going to be people trying to emulate the Switch.
Oh well, 100%. That's
Hasn't gone down in price since launch.
no. They haven't. Have they ever put it on sale?
I mean, they probably have, but usually, like, after a few years of being on the market, a console will go down in price. But I wonder if that's because of chip shortages and stuff, or if that's just how Nintendo...
Been out since, like, what, 2016,
Not for a while.
2017?
They even came out with another one with the OLED screen, but it's just more expensive.
It's it's more expensive for the exact same hardware. They didn't change anything but the screen on it.
How the iPhone is, isn't it? Basically.
I see, add another camera. To kind of go along with gaming, Minecraft crosses 1 trillion views on YouTube. Long before the metaverse became the premier destination of tech companies and newlyweds, there was Minecraft. Just started as a video game about dodging explosives from creepers, and it was just a blank canvas where millions of players could create content, upload it, and generate views. Today, in YouTube's collaboration with Minecraft developers, it's creating a unprecedented 1 trillion view with a snapshot of the game's unique transformation history on the platform. The chief storyteller for the game states that the reason why Minecraft is so successful on YouTube because YouTube videos are a way to tell stories. So then when you have Minecraft and you can tell a story you want in a Minecraft world, it's just the big reason why we have so many people creating Minecraft content. And I know, at least for me, that was a big part of my childhood was Minecraft, and I know Jacob's really gotten into Minecraft lately.
People are starting to ask about the realm. I bought a whole computer to host a server. Right? Might not have been the best purchase, but I'm hoping to host maybe like a web server off of it. That'll be a future project I might talk about. I won't spoil anything. It'll be interesting. But I bought a whole computer for Minecraft. But a lot of people really do love their squares. I think Tetris is right behind Minecraft, isn't it?
Is it
like the most sold game?
Oh, in the most sold game.
I don't know who's behind it, and I know people really love their squares.
Yeah, it's just something about that basic shape that just ties it all together.
I think it's the level of creativity too. Like you said, a blank slate that people create and do what they want to do and interact with others. And
an announcement before we wrap up today's podcast episode, we will There's going to be an off week due to the holidays. We are unfortunately not going to release another podcast episode. We'll be back in the new year with fresh start in tech news, and we'll be happy to share with you guys when the new year occurs. And I would like to thank you, Mr. Dome, for coming in and talking on our podcast today.
For having me.
Absolutely. And I'd like to thank everyone for listening to today's podcast. And my name is Andrew. I'm here with Jacob.
Hello.
And Mr. Dome.
Hello.
And thanks again for watching. See you all in the next episode. Peace.